Yo, yo, yo. This is part 2 by Starkers and They Call Me Dan of good old ADA and Charles Hoskinson's review. So our first part we just did, and it was, we just reviewed a short about why he came away from Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Like 3 times.
And ADA, we were having too much fun. We were having too much fun.
A little bit. Got carried away.
We got carried away. We decided to stop, but then we realized we still got to do sweets. So this is completely ad hoc. We haven't seen this before, but we're going to have a look at some of Charles' tweets here. This is a good one maybe to start off with from August the 2nd, 2020. But we're currently in 2024, March 2024. So let's see if this one holds up. Cardano is an open platform from 2020, that seeks to provide economic identity to the billions who lack it.
Okay.
By providing decentralized applications to manage identity, value, and governance.
So, governance, pre-mined, centralized, no data availability layer. So how are you giving people identity when everybody in the world is on Cardano in this hypothetical situation? How will you handle the fees because you have a layer 1 smart contract? The answer is you'll have high fees. No one will ever use the main chain, and you'll be Ethereum. You'll be exactly like Ethereum. You'll be no different than Ethereum.
How's your knowledge about Hydra? I've heard him talk about Hydra a lot. So someone's called the same thing here.
I hate that shit.
How will Cardano compete with Solana in the microtransaction space? Bro, how will these things compete with Hive? The transactions are free on Hive. You're all talking about paid transaction layers, and they're all centralized as well. When it has mint transaction fee of 23 US cents, automatically moving purchase transaction change into investments or charitable donations, e.g. rounding up to save or donate. And then Charles says, Hydra, of course. Don't you know about Hydra? Well, I've heard about Hydra actually, but yeah. What's Hydra, Dan? Any ideas?
My guess would be some kind of transaction layer.
Yeah.
Automatically, I can't think of a decentralized way to do that, especially off of a already centralized coin voting system. So
yeah. I'm already skeptical. But he says
let's fucking look up Hydra.
I can't look it up from here, but
all right, we'll have to do that.
If we get around to let's see what we can find. The thing that I'll say is to provide economic identity to the billions who lack it by providing decentralized applications to manage identity, value, and governance. To me, you've got to have an ability to distribute to people. Right? This is the thing that a lot of people miss in crypto. They distribute to their miners, and then they assume their miners are going to like benevolently give out the tokens, or they're going to sell them on the problem is if you distribute to miners, then people are going to have to work for the miners someday, and the miners will set prices. I can't believe people in crypto haven't seen this. If you give all the money to miners, don't get me wrong, it's good to give them to miners to an extent because they provide some value, but they don't provide all the value on the network, right? The users are the value creators, and the more decentralized the mechanism is through which you distribute to your users, the better, right? Sounds to me like you're going to be giving a load of tokens to different apps, and they're going to distribute the tokens. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have multiple. So if I was to critique Cardano in a way where it was a schedule, and I was saying this is how I believe this should work and how it would go, you would need a transaction layer, data availability layer, algo stablecoin. If you don't have all 3 of those, regardless of the pre-mine and all of that stuff, which comes later, you're screwed. Now we go to the next layer, distributed coin. Let's say your coin is very distributed. Let's say that the ongoing distribution is okay. You have to have it going to more than just one party. You can't have it going to just miners. That's why you need a way for people to earn it. The transaction layer is very, very important here because if it costs money to enter, you're going to exclude most people. And this tech is literally meant to save those people, to help people who don't have access to the things that we have access to. So Cardano fails on all fronts. It doesn't have anything right. The best it could be is a smart contract layer if it was to cut out the pre-mine, which is Charles Hoskinson. That's it. That's the only solution for Cardano in the future. If it doesn't do that, it's going to, I don't know what's going to happen to it, but it'll be some centralized
There'll be some deal
KYC
cut.
machine.
There'll be a deal cut with the government, basically. This is my favorite one at the moment. Real talk. Or however R. Kelly said it. Didn't R. Kelly say real talk?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to play a little bit.
2.5 hours?
I know. Well, that's what we do on fucking CTT.
Yeah.
Let's. What the hell?
2.5 hours, you're never getting
Let's
back.
just fast
It
forward.
changes the PFP, but I like the dog. I like the Lambo. So it's like dog with hat, but it's dog with
Already
Lambo.
terrible.
So
Lambos and dogs, baby.
Why would he? What did he retweet?
We just
that?
fast forwarded into this. No, this is his Twitter space called Real Talk. Real Talk. I mean, Lambos and dogs. Bring it on. That's what's going to save us.
it's a new shitcoin launching never.
Cool. What's up, Art? Thanks for coming up.
That was
What's
interesting.
up?
He's watching
I'm
paint dry.
great. I'm gonna pretend like it's not awkward that I'm up here right now. Hooli,
Let's see if we can find Hoskinson talking. Let's see if we can. There it is.
Tokens like
All right.
Haley on the
I'm getting.
They bought apes at the wrong time, and they're upset because they bought apes at the wrong time. And someone else said,
Let's move on.
Yep.
Ada ATH community did it. Pepe Blue Waka Jubilee will melt faces. How long have they been saying that for, eh?
Sounds like a meme coin or something.
All right. Let's go back to his.
Let's see if he says
let's go back to his main
anything
feed.
that's worthwhile.
Important announcement: Rare Evo, NFT LV have come together for a once special
some
event
stupid-
in Las
yeah,
Vegas.
some event.
Okay, that's just
Centralized.
that's Rare Evo, yeah.
Special thing.
Bringing two teams together through many long but constructive conversations. Okay, let's see if he's actually saying anything about the crypto market here.
Of course, he talks.
The moment Dodge flips Cardano, it's officially altcoin season, kids.
Yeah, so he's talking about speculation. Of course, because he's a fucking shitcoin trader and he's dumping on you.
9-0 in the rule of law. How long's this?
It's going to be a million hours and it's not going to make sense.
He says, as predicted, a simple 9-0 decision. States can't make stuff up and invent new standards to apply in federal election. Even the justices appointed by Obama
he's
and
talking
Biden
politics.
agreed that it was too far. The bedrock of a republic is the rule of law and equal application of standards. Even if you're in the orange man bad camp, you can't ignore foundational principles. We're at the ballot box the way we've done it for over 200 years.
The problem with him is he makes a lot of sense. He's going.
Yeah.
He's like an Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Like you can't disagree with a lot of what he says, but then he fucking has a pre-mined shitcoin. So it's like, you know,
Yeah. They're all like this. They all turn up on it.
They lead you to the right thing, and at the last fucking second, they're like, whoa.
They're
whoa,
like,
whoa.
dumping on your ass, motherfucker. Yeah. Thanks for the exit liquidity.
Well, the problem is he's wasting people's time. He's not offering a freedom tool. He's
Right.
wasting fucking time and energy, and I wish people would just be more honest with what they have. I'd respect him a lot more.
He's very political.
Does he say anything?
I don't think so.
What is this Batman bending over?
Bill, why did you become an engineer? Because I wanted to work on things that change the world for the better. Bill's
this
first
is-
project.
So this is what happens when you become a fucking billionaire off of making your own shitcoin. Solar is in. He's building fucking his own infrastructure. I see that.
That's fair enough. Yeah. It's
But
probably his
Cardano's
backyard.
infrastructure.
Probably his backyard. maybe
That's not
maybe he's
important,
using
just
it
the
to
apps,
mine some
bro.
Cardano. Maybe he's using it to mine some Cardano. Actually, let's click
He
into
doesn't
this.
need to mine Cardano. He fucking owns enough. His kids are going to be dumping Cardano on you. Yeah, this is the most uninteresting.
We're struggling here a little bit, aren't we? All they would need to do is
Because he doesn't
a
talk about
5%
blockchain.
reduction across the board for all agencies. Each year until the budget balances, likely 5 to 10 years, and will be in surplus.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about fucking crypto.
Why do you want to be in a
blockchain.
surplus? Why do people want to be in a surplus?
Fucking hate this guy.
That's literally removing money out of the economy. Like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just like the deficit means there's money in the economy. It means the government's injected money into the economy. Well, not the government, but the banks have, and there's money flowing around the economy, and the government's spending it into the economy. It's good for people. It's taking money away from the government sector and putting it into the economy. I don't understand why everyone's so worried about having a surplus. Like, you're literally going to be moving money out of the economy back into the government.
Is there somebody who actually talks about Cardano and what it's going to do?
Let's see.
Just anything? I mean, every day we've been talking about this shit in some form.
What's this?
Give me something.
Come on. Give us some meat, Charles.
Anything.
At some point, you got to talk about your projects. What's he talking about here? Sancho net attack results. 50 governance actions were batched into single transactions. Who batched them into single transactions?
1 million fake
1 million
ADA per attacker, 9 attackers.
Oh, so they're actually testing the attack vectors. I'll give them credit for that. 42 government actions before the attack. Is that 183 or 8,183 after? 42 government actions before the attack. Result, we failed miserably. Oh.
Well, so you're reading all this, it sounds really cool. It's like, okay, let's make this basic again. So if you have a pre-mine and you have coin voting,
Right.
you have one or two ways. And we've seen this happen in practice on a proof of work system. It's not even a coin voting system. We see what happens. If there is a large majority who says, I have the most stake, I have the most hash rate, the only defense against that in practice is to have a core trusted nodes that say we're the truth and we have to agree on who comes in. Go study Bitcoin SV. That's exactly what they had to do because they got attacked into the ground. Exchanges were delisting them because they were getting 51% attacked and people were minting coins, withdrawing coins, and just all fuckery because the majority had control. And what they did was saying, well, we know you're a good node, you're a good node, you're a good node, you've had this time, but now you can say who gets in. So I don't give a fuck what they're talking about. The only way that they could defend against that is if they had a small majority that said, okay, we are only going to allow these people in, like a boys club. That's it. There's no other game theoretical possible way on a coin voting system where the majority of the attacker, right? Because you could say we have that a little bit on Hive when if let's say Upbit powered up 100 million, well, they would technically have the majority of the power. Yet there's a time. And we have a trusted node system that could stop that. So you could say it's similar to that, but the difference is there's no pre-mine. This would be a attack from an outside vector that we can do. So that's the only way I could see that you could attack or defend against a pre-mine. That's all. A lot of these people try to think like the routing when you talk about SATA. I know it's a little off topic, but they're more advanced. They're all saying, oh, well, it's going to cost them money, so they're not going to do it. Well, a nation state doesn't care about that. They want to censor you. They will attack, and they will be unprofitable, and they will clog the network. And if a network goes down for a day, it's over. It goes up for a month. Are you kidding me? You can't just go out. You can't just wait these things out. That's not how it works. People's livelihoods, these things are going to be somebody's life. If that happens, then they're just going to go to centralized solutions and never come back.
So what they're discussing here is that, I don't know the exact details of it, but they're basically they're kind of trying to figure out where they should set the limits that you have so that you can vote. So it's like, if you've got a certain amount of stake, you can't vote that much, but after a certain point, it becomes
But then you can just divide it into multiple
So as a community, they're trying to find where it's the right balance, which is sensible. But then the question I've always got is, what happens if Charles votes?
Yeah. Well, you can always divide it in multiple wallets, and the only way to stop that is KYC.
I mean, maybe they've done something with Charles' stake where he can't vote.
You know, one of the greatest things that
Which would be nice to see.
One of the best things that I think that we should think of is how on a pre-mine chain on coin voting, how do you make it censorship resistant? Is there a way, some kind of magical judo way where you align it? And I think Hive has done it the best, although it doesn't have a pre-mine, which makes it super badass. But even if it did, and that stake wasn't powered up, that's the key word. Once it's already in the state, once it can already vote, right? Because a lot of these chains don't even have lockups, which is ridiculous. There's so many things wrong that we can think of, multiple coin distribution. But if you don't have a long lockup, if you can just vote, exchanges already attack the network. So if the stake isn't in, the voting pool yet, there's a lot you can do with a trusted community that can prevent a overwhelming attack. Hive has solved that because we've been through it. But if you don't have a reputation system, and Charles is already live, he can vote whenever he wants. They already have the ICO distribution. They only have one method. So if things hit the fan, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it's VC funded, so if stuff hits the fan, is the community really going to be able to lift this layer 1 smart contract system? I don't think so, especially with how complicated Charles talks. Doesn't sound like your average community members running nodes. We have people in Cuba and Venezuela and Philippines. We have people like us. We have people who don't know or who are not really technical, earning reputation running nodes. You don't see that on Cardano.
The other thing that's an interesting question here by Captain Mark J. Evola is what about 5 million ADA each per attacker? Just kidding. Will there be a summary report to read on this outcome? Appreciate your Purple Team testing efforts here. I've got to give him credit for doing a test. It's like going through a proper takeover, but not quite. You know, it's like sparring instead of boxing, right?
Well, he knows his ass is about to get sent to the blender, so he's fucking saying, all right, what can we do?
This is a sensible question, right? I mean, maybe it's not possible. That's why he's saying just kidding, but it feels to me like he's saying just kidding to keep his ass out of the heat, right? And someone said, got to wait for the epoch boundary first to get some more data. So it looks like they've got to do more testing. So it looks to me like Cardano right now, they don't know whether or not it can defend against an attack. Because they're doing all these tests, and they've got to go through more epochs to get more data.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already know it can't defend against an attack, but now they're coming to the realization that, what we already know.
Shit me.
And how much market cap is it?
That's
what VCs can do, man. VCs can really...
But maybe the real DDoS here is on the human protocol side, not the blockchain side. I can imagine the chaos and revolt in X when 8K governance actions are submitted overnight. There are two sides of this coin, and we need to test both and be prepared. So they're testing the one side, yeah. So basically, this is them trying to flood the chain with governance decisions, governance votes.
I mean, you can't hate on people talking governance into text.
I can't hate on that.
So, especially with community members. So it's a little bit impressive.
But I do question what would happen if they lost
But do you think these guys could run a Cardano node is the problem?
No.
If they had the fork. So. And would they be willing? And the longer you take the fork, the more harder it's going to be. Because eventually they're going to say, if you do that, we're going to come after you regulatory-wise, which makes it gives you less incentive to actually fork. Because if you're like, oh, now I have to deal with this. Once we already fork and then it comes later, it's like, well, fuck, we already forked. Like, Hive's already forked. We don't have to worry about that. But, like, let's say there was a scenario where we waited a while, 2 years, and let's say they were really heavy and regulation was really hard. You might not have been as likely to fork. And you might not got as much of the community to fork. So the longer you wait, you have to realize this thing is broken. If you want to use the tech that you paid for, because you paid for it by the ICO, it's yours, you paid for it, use it correctly. It's the tech. Fuck the tokens. Look at the tech for what it is, look at other tech out there, and combine. Use what you need. But don't just parade around like this guy's really going to save the world and give everyone an identity. If you believe that, you believe he's going to give everyone an identity and it's going to be decentralized. I guess I got a few bridges I could sell you.
Hanging around with a couple of politicians there. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Depends who this politician is. I like that he's kind of coming to the realization that he has to work with politicians, right? The problem that I've got is he's like, yeah, we've got the KYC chain,
exactly.
we've got the compliance chain,
I
you
don't
know.
like
So
that at all.
you know which type of politicians he's hanging around with.
He's just like a censorship tool hanging around a bunch of censors.
That's basically it's the open bird cage, the golden cage wide open. You're sitting in it and you think it's fine, and then when it finally closes, you can't get out.
You want this pre-mine coin voting guy fucking getting connected with people in power? I don't know. I don't like that.
I wonder if he's ever said what he's
He
going to do.
says a lot of good stuff, but he fucking doesn't do it. It's that simple. He doesn't do it.
I wonder what he's going to do with his tokens. Has he ever stated publicly if he's going to burn his tokens?
I mean, even if he did, it wouldn't matter because they're already distributed in the places that they need to be. They have a foundation.
I must apologize to the Cardano community. I've been spreading around false information about how decentralized Cardano is. For years, I've been telling people that the Nakamoto coefficient, or MAV, was ranging from 32 to 36.
Oh, I fucking
I have been informed that the correct number is 58.
Oh, I fucking hate that. Go fuck yourself. Seriously.
What is it? The Nakamoto coefficient.
Yeah, okay, guy. Sure. You sound smart. Bravo.
Attack it. It's gonna be interesting because we are gonna go to it. I mean, this is inevitable. These chains are gonna get attacked, right? If they start doing shit on these chains that the government doesn't approve of, which every chain should do, because it has to be. It's like when you're told not to publish certain information in a magazine. You should publish it. If you want to test the free speech and prove that you have it, you should publish it, right? Whether or not you agree with it. It's the same shit here. You have to test the government to make it come and try and shut you down. I can't wait to see what these guys do. They'll comply in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same playbook. To think that they're going to allow you to transfer value without KYC, I don't know what world do these people live in? Where do you live where your government's cool with you sending money and not KYCing? I don't know.
Here you go. The Edinburgh Decentralization Index, EDI, shows Cardano is leading other blockchains across Nakamoto coefficient, Gini coefficient, Shannon entropy, whatever the hell that says, index, Thel index, max power ratio, and Tau decentralization index. My gosh, what a chain. It's in front on all of them, but there was a massive pre-mine.
Yeah.
What about the pre-mine index?
Yeah, they leave that part out.
They leave that part out, don't they? It's like these boffins at Edinburgh Decentralization Index, wherever the hell that is. They just conveniently forget about the pre-mines, you know?
Well, I look at it as like there's a boxer, right? And this guy's fucking hitting the bag. It's good. He's fucking, people are like, yeah. And they're only showing the waist up. And then when you get there, he doesn't have legs. And you're like, you're like what the fuck? What is this? Like, how do you fucking not mention the pre-line?
It's almost like Charles visits them. This is what I think probably happened. Charles visits them as an academic, right? Mm-hmm. And they all hang around together. They have a nice cup of tea together. They all pat each other on the back. And he says, you know those indexes? There's no pre-mine one, right? And he's like, because all you guys have got the pre-mine too, you know? Yeah. Like, yeah, we have the pre-mine too. We'll leave that out of the indexes. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, they all
Come on, Edinburgh. Come on, Edinburgh, with you. What is it? Edinburgh Decentralization Index, EDI. Why aren't you measuring pre-mines, ICOs, and CEOs on so-called decentralized blockchains, man?
Yeah.
What,
it's literally the most important.
It's the most important thing. It's the thing. It's the very thing that can be like, because if you have an ICO, Edinburgh Decentralization Index, it's mostly bought by VCs. And I sound like a broken record, but we've got to say this because it's got to get through to people. If it's been bought by VCs, those VCs are generally companies that are registered in pro-regulation jurisdictions. And if you're on a coin voting system, which is what we call these things because it's plain English, it's coin voting in American. What it means is that those VC entities will vote as they are told to vote by the governing entity, which is normally a government with a gun, right? Yeah. And if they bought most of the ICOs and they're registered entities in pro-regulation jurisdiction, you're on a pro-regulation chain, whether you like it or not. And if you're doing some Gini coefficient or some Edinburgh Decentralization Index, EDI, why aren't you taking that into account?
Yeah. It's just such
It's fugazi.
fucking psychobabble bullshit. Coin voting, coin distribution, and the 3 pillars. If you don't have that, you're...
I mean, yeah, we haven't touched on why you need a freaking algo stablecoin built into your base
If you
layer.
don't have that, it's over. It's
over.
done.
Because you rely on USDC.
It's such a joke.
You rely on USDC and USDT. And if you rely on USDC and USDT, those are also in pro-regulation US banks. They're backed by US Treasury and
They don't
pro-regulation
even
US banks.
comprehend. How can they not comprehend that you need that?
It's so naive. It's so naive.
Leave out the pre-mine. Just completely ignorant to needing an algo stablecoin. Don't even mention transaction layer. It's a joke.
And it's so bad as well because there's so many talented people. There's so many talented, decent people trying to build on this thing, and they just haven't seen this point. They've been hoodwinked.
Yep, they've been hoodwinked.
It's such a waste of human energy.
There's so many fucking Cardanos out there just wasting talent.
Cardano continuity plans and highlight areas of the Cardano roadmap that excite them. What about the part of the roadmap where Hoskinson burns all of his tokens?
Yeah.
I might even buy Cardano if he came out and said that,
I wouldn't because the tech is still fucking shit. The tech is good if it was a smart contract layer. Let's just assume. But since it doesn't have anything that needs, it's shit. It's absolute shit. Doesn't work in practice, so it's broken.
Let's have a look at this. This is why Adam Back called Charles Hoskinson king of the rats. Cardano will be the last one standing. So this is...
It'll be one of the first to fall.
Elon Higgins. What the fuck is he talking about? Here we go.
You throw them in a pit. Nice.
Are we rolling?
Nice rap.
Thanks, man.
Let's just bear in mind here,
That's my nickname.
I forget this guy's name, but he's not a crypto expert. That's for sure. And Jordan Peterson definitely isn't a crypto expert.
No. That guy, I like that guy. It's funny.
He's funny. He's a fucking funny dude.
But he definitely doesn't.
I know that Peterson took certain medical procedures that shows that he's got a lack of judgment, in my opinion. At least he was honest about it. Theo Von's that's his name. Funny guy. I don't know what he did with the thingy situation, but I don't know that he's a crypto guy. So let's fucking see what they say here.
I swear to God, they say something positive about Cardano.
No doubt, mate. Have you heard about this Cardano thing? Charles is such a sweet guy.
They better not. I like this comedian.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of... Do you have a
Do you
nickname?
know what a Rat King is?
Huh?
Do you know what a Rat King is? Oh, my God, it's a terrible story. There is a Rat King. Well, this is the theory now. I don't know if people ever did this. So imagine your village is full of rats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now you go catch 10 rats.
Okay.
You throw them in a pit.
Okay.
Soon, there is one rat, because he gets all the other rats.
He's a champ?
Then you throw 10 more rats in there. Soon there's one rat. You do that 3 or 4 times. Then you take the remaining rat and you let him go. And soon there are no rats in the village.
Really?
That's the theory.
Wow, so it was like the toughest of them all.
Man, these guys are smoking some fucking weed here. So
That was brutal, dude.
That is why Adam Back called Charles Hoskinson king of the rats.
Oh, because
He's just a tough-ass motherfucker.
He just fucks over everybody.
With his massive pre-mine. Poof! Don't fuck with me. Oh, man. The IO's reached its apex. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course, they're not going to ever read anything constructive about this guy that's going to save humanity.
I'm going to refer to you all collectively as the Midnight Syndicate. Need cool artwork. Second, how goes the building? What do you think of the DevNet?
Oh, I can't stand this.
He talks a good game. Good game. I'll give him that.
Of course, one of the best.
But a lot
It's like an Andrew Tate type.
a lot of hoodwinked people.
Completely different niches, but they're the exact same fucking thing. They'll say a lot of shit to people who are like real. Will be like, "Oh, I jive with this," And then he just counts on his psychobabble that they don't dig deeper than that and they just trust him. That's his fucking game. That's what he survives off of.
I want to know if anyone from the Cardano community hates this content because we've been ragging on Cardano for 2 videos now. Maybe we're wrong, you know? I mean, we're not wrong about the pre-mine. We're not wrong about the cult of personality of Charles Hoskinson. And we're not wrong about the fact that he basically dictates what goes on the chain. We would like to know what he's doing with his pre-mine. We'd like to know if he's going to burn it and why he hasn't already burned it.
Yeah, we're not.
And we also would like to know from the Cardano community why you haven't forked him out yet. Then you might have you might get some respect.
Yeah.
If you just fork him out, then you got some respect, you know. But what's going on, guys? Come on.
Look, Cardano in its current state is shit. It is compromised. You are really supporting a pro KYC, pro censorship chain. Now, learn the fundamentals of how this stuff works. Get blockchain out of your head. It's a protocol. Learn how protocols work. How do protocols work? The 3 pillars we've talked about. And then you have layers. Cardano is a smart contract layer it wants to be. It does way too much. It tries to be everything in one. Can't do that. Strip everything you don't need and just focus on a smart contract layer and find a place to put your data. Fork out the pre-mine. Fork out any kind of founder stake, any kind of seed round.
VC.
All of that crap, fork it out. Now, if you don't do that, you are supporting a pro-censorship chain. Hey, you know, you're an investor, you want to make your money, you do you. But call it how it is. Call how you made your money. Call it how it is. You did it by investing in a pro-censorship chain because you knew the money would go up because of the VCs, not because it was going to save the world. Cardano prances around. You have Charles saying he's going to save the world. It's complete fucking bollocks, as my British friends would say. That's not what he's doing. He's looking to dump his bags. It's not even a technical solution that makes sense. And he knows it doesn't fucking make sense. If it made sense, he'd be a threat to the system. If it was built like Hive, he'd be a real fucking threat. And they would have came after his ass a lot harder. He built this same stupid playbook that everyone else did. And as long as the infrastructure is centralized, don't worry about the infrastructure. As long as that's centralized, the elites are happy.
Complete fucking bollocks, mate.
Complete fucking bollocks.
All right, we're out.
Yep.
See you, Radio.